Well, thanks for allowing me the opportunity to be here today. The Wichita Fire Department is excited to announce Fire Prevention Week is coming October 6th through the 12th, and we're focusing this year's attention on home cooking fires. We're going to partner with NFPA and other area agencies to help spread the word to the folks that live in our area about the importance of home fire cooking safety and also about the consequences of not being safe. The leading cause of fires, of accidental fires in homes every year nationwide is cooking, and certainly that is the case here in Wichita. In fact, nearly half of our accidental fires are caused by unattended cooking. In the past 3 years, we've experienced an average of 200 cooking fires just here in Wichita alone, with an annual loss of all of them together of just over $1 million. There's a number of safety tips that people can follow when they're at home cooking. Obviously, that's where a lot of cooking takes place, and we ask people to pay attention to those kinds of things. They're outlined in our media release, but I'd like to go over just a few of them very quickly. The number one thing that people can do is to stay in the kitchen with what you're cooking, right? Don't get distracted by a phone call. Don't get distracted by the kids or the grandkids. Stay in the kitchen and pay attention to that heating source and the items that are on the stove. If you do have to leave the kitchen, turn it down on low or turn it off completely, and we could prevent a lot of these fires from happening. Keep young children away from the stoves, and if you are cooking and there's young children in the area, use those back burners. That lessens the likelihood of injuries. The leading cause of home fire injuries also happen to be as a result of cooking. And of course, the kitchen is the most dangerous room in your home, so we want to really pay attention when there's children around. Another thing folks can do is to keep items that can combust away from the stove. Towels, napkins, mail, even food items that are left on or around the stove can become a point of ignition for fires in the kitchen, and we want to be able to keep those things away from the stove. Use pot holders and oven mitts to avoid those kinds of burn injuries that result. And another important thing that folks can do is they can clean the stove regularly, get those grease-laden vapors away from there. Grease is ignitable at about 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and stoves certainly get that hot. So take the time to wipe up those spills, clean up those messes. Oftentimes fires start up in the fan above the stove as well, and so you want to clean the kitchen hood system as well. So during Fire Prevention Week next week, we have a number of activities. I have provided you all an attachment of those things that we're going to be doing and participating in. On Monday, we're going to have unannounced fire drills in Wichita area schools. Those will be both public and private schools. We have 13 of those scheduled starting in the morning, and will go until almost the close of school business at 3 o'clock. On Tuesday is our big event. It begins at 9 o'clock out at the zoo. It's the 5th grade zoo adventure, and we have a host of agencies that come in, not just fire, but local police, military, EMS, and others that come in and help us put on a great event. That's open to the public. We do focus most of our time and attention on the 5th graders in our area, but anybody can come out there and enjoy those festivities. On Wednesday, October 9th, we're going to be at the North YMCA up on North Woodlawn. That is a safety fair that we're going to partner with, again, area agencies. And then right after that, we'll be out at West Star for their health fair there on East Central Street. This is all detailed out in the attachment. On Thursday, October 10th, we're going to do a safety caravan to area senior living centers, and so we're going to be traveling around Wichita, going to senior centers, providing fire safety information and demonstrations to them. Friday, we don't have any formal events scheduled, but we do encourage folks to visit their neighborhood fire stations. Go in there, take a tour of the station, check out the fire trucks, talk to the firefighters who are your neighbors, and get some fire safety tips from them. And then finally on Saturday, October 12th, is the Kansas Fallen Firefighters Memorial down on South Broadway, 1200 South Broadway at the Fire Museum. It's a celebration by the fire service to memorialize and remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and have died in the line of duty. And that's open to the public as well. It's usually a very nice event, and we encourage and invite folks to come out there and enjoy that ceremony and the celebration that occurs afterwards. That runs from 12 to 3:30. Just real quickly, I know sometimes people ask about statistics and they want some stuff. So ran some numbers for you all from 2010 to 2012. Last year, we experienced 533 residential structure fires in Wichita. 214 of those were contributed to cooking fires, so nearly half. And that number's really remained pretty consistent over the last 3 years. There were 566 residential fires in 2011. 192 of those were the result of cooking. And then in 2010, there were 500 residential structure fires. 193 of those were contributed to cooking. When you contrast that to the second leading cause of accidental fires in Wichita, which is careless smoking, the numbers are pretty dramatic. We contributed 119 fires to carelessly discarded cigarettes during 2012, 140 in 2011, and 111 in 2010. So a significant number of fires are caused by cooking. That's clearly number one, followed by careless smoking, which we do pay a lot of time and attention to as well. And then the third leading cause of accidental fires are candles, and those numbers drop way down into the teens. So cooking is number one, and it's something that we really want folks to focus on and pay attention to. And nearly every single one of those is preventable, and we're asking people to take that step and do what they need to do to help prevent that tragedy. It's very difficult for somebody to lose their home, or even if it's for a short period of time, to have to move and get out of their routine. It's a very traumatic event for them, and we want to encourage folks to try to prevent that whenever possible.
What was the total number of residential fires in 2011 again?
566. Any other questions?
Will you spell your name for us on camera?
Yeah, Brad Crisp, so BRADCRISP as in Paul, and I'm the fire marshal. I'm supposed to do that at the beginning, and I totally space that off.
That's all right.
Do you have a cause of the fire on Arlene by chance?
That one's still under investigation. Arlene, that's the one where we had a number of juveniles and folks in the home. I know we had a couple of juveniles that went to the hospital with some respiratory issues, smoke inhalation issues. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. The fire investigators are still doing some follow-up and some interviews on that.
It sounds like it could have been a tragic outcome in terms of one or two children still being in it and had to be.
Yeah. One of the.
That in terms of things they did right, things people should learn from that.
Absolutely. I've always got a message. One of the things that we identified in that fire that we know, there was not a working smoke alarm inside the home. We spent a lot of time and attention to smoke alarms and their importance. Of course, they're required by both state and city ordinance. But smoke alarms save lives. Smoke alarms are designed to alert you to an emergency and give you the time and the opportunity to get out of your home and to call 911 and get help there quickly. In this particular instance, there was a smoke alarm present, but it wasn't working. And it's like having a car that won't start. It doesn't do you any good if you've got it and it doesn't work. And fortunately, nobody did perish in that incident, but it was that close, because it just takes literally minutes for somebody to get overwhelmed by carbon monoxide or the products of combustion and not be able to get out of their home, the room or the place that they know best. You get disoriented, your brain gets poisoned, intoxicated by carbon monoxide, and you simply don't have the ability to make rational decisions and to get out. We avoided a tragedy in that one for sure.